We have to go to the root. We have to go to the cause. Dealing with the condition itself is not enough.
Dear Mr. Massa, I'm just trying to mind my own business. What's the matter? It's just another day, another black king captured. I'm about to lose my brain stuck inside this ghetto rapture. I got a lot of smoke. If you want it, you can have it. They want a hat trick, but this is black girl magic. Ain't talking about the kind that'll make you disappear, but I'm talking about the power of the melanin within. Ain't looking for trouble, but I'ma say this one time. I put 2 dukes up if you try to touch mine. We still want justice for Samir and Trayvon. You say you don't see color, but racism ain't blind. They targeting little kids whose skin look just like mine. So I'm paranoid, it's a war zone outside. And I'm a black queen, so if you ask me to step out of my car, you gon' have to snatch me. Cause I ain't going no damn well. Had to spend my whole life living unfair. Ancestors got my back and they right here. You can never understand, it's a nightmare. Living in my black shoes by the black rules. You can keep your handshake, I don't dap coons. The white man to go nuts if he can't shoot. But you all on his side like a damn fool. Make it make sense.
We are oppressed.
Queen.
We are exploited. We are downtrodden.
Make it make
Queen.
We are
sense.
denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyah.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Ahmadiyah.
oppression and exploitation
Queen.
away from us or aside from us is come together
Queen.
against the common enemy. Who taught you to hate the texture of your
Ahmadiyah.
hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin?
Ahmadiyah.
Parents, pay attention to the books, the school system, even to your little children. Lies mixed with wisdom. His skin too bright, so he was blind to the prison. My skin just right, so I collide with division. You trying to pray to God, but we tired of religion. No savior saving, we got to save our savings. We used to pay miss, how we gon' make the slave rich? But who's to blame, and tell me why you complaining? We need a team effort just to rule the nation. Like a bad relationship, missing communication. We missing moderation. They're trying to get a poison to my population. No reparations. I'm getting tired of Satan.
We are oppressed.
I'm
Queen.
getting tired of waiting.
We are downtrodden.
Queen.
We are denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyah.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Ahmadiyah.
oppression and exploitation.
All right, Grand Rising, everyone. Thanks for tuning back in once again to the original Queen AhmadiyahShakur show. I'm your host, Queen AhmadiyahShakur, and this is your first morning wake-up call. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. As per usual, if you don't like what the Queen is cooking with, you already know what to do. Exit stage left. All right? And so for the rest of you, please be sure to follow me on Instagram at Dr._A_Shakur, TikTok at Dr. A Shakur, and Twitter at DGoddess27. All right, so let's see who's in here. Let's see who's all in here. Now, we're getting started early today. Okay, Queen Amona Hewitt, Lillian X is here. Queen Sam, Juju. All right, Claudette. Juju said, let's get black into it. And the Queen is queening. Thank you, beloved. Okay, that Crazy Beach Aries. Juju said, low down dirty scoundrels know what to do. All right, Pearly, OG Patrice, being forever. Deronda is here. Charlene, Nessa G, DeBear, Etheline, Ray Williams said same G from the land have been, hold on. Same G from the land here for it. Here for it. Okay, Ray Williams. All right. So anyway, with that, I've been saying, hey, Buckhorse DC, Terry Hartfield is in the house. Grand Rising. March Baby is here. Chris Vesey, Claudette. Big Mama is in the house. All right. Hey, Desmond. Desmond said, don't let the door hit you where the Lord split you. G from the land said, real nasty Drew. Thank you, beloved. All right. So let's get into it. Hey, that Crazy Beach Aries. Khalid Herlim is in the house. Kimberly is here. All right, everyone, please get the likes up. Please like and share. You all know how they do the Queen, honey. ScrewTube stays throwing shade. Hey, Crispy. And that's Chris B, because it sounded like I said crispy. Okay, so with that all being said, let's get into it. Now, first things first, because I gotta go in on Judge Mathis just a little bit, even though I love him. Sometimes you got to call your people to the carpet, right? Hey, 6'3" soldier. All right. Shout out to everyone in the chat and everyone tuned into the Queen. Y'all know I love me some royals. Okay. So, but before we talk about Judge Greg Mathis, Let's talk about Jada Pinkett Smith because it appears that two men tried to burglarize her home days ago. Now, Jada was there by herself, and I'm going to tell you exactly why I think this possibly happened in just a moment. Okay, so lights up, everyone, please like and share. Let me pull up the receipts on this. All right, here it is. Now, this was reported by TMZ days ago. Not on my watch. That's what it says. Jada Pinkett Smith reportedly scares off intruders during home break-in. Honey, Jada had to set it off. Please pay attention. Now, Jada Pinkett Smith reportedly left a lasting impression on two men who recently attempted to break into her home. According to TMZ, the incident occurred earlier this week when two scoundrels disguised in hoodies showed up at her home in Los Angeles in the evening hours. Jada came face to face with the home intruders, they say. Now, unbeknownst to them, the actress was at home when she noticed the men climbing up her balcony. But before they could access the property's inside, Smith took notice of the pair and reportedly showed her courage by scaring them off. Now, here's what I want you all to pay attention, because the police were called to the house shortly thereafter, but the intruders had already escaped at that point. Law enforcement officers have since filed an attempted burglary report, and the case is currently under investigation. It remains unclear whether the two men targeted Jada's home or whether they were simply preying on the houses of the wealthy. Additionally, it appears that the incident did not occur at the Calabasas family home she once shared with Will Smith. In October of 2023, the Matrix star openly shared that she and her estranged husband have lived separately since 2016. Now, with that all being said, I have several questions. The mother of two expressed that neither she nor Will was ready to tell the world about the nature of their relationship. She said they were more concerned with figuring out how to move forward. Okay, so the investigation is still going on into the alleged attempted break-in. And the reason 6'3" soldier said, was it Will? Ethelene, yes, I know there was a shooting at Joel Osteen's church, beloved. And we're going to talk about that today on the other channel, okay? After this broadcast, we're going to talk about the shooting at Joel Osteen's church along with other things. Now, with that all being said, Lillian X said, why not just finalize the separation and just end it? Well, she's not going to do that. She said she's going to make sure that they never end up in divorce. And, Jada wants her cash. She wants to live fancy free. And, of course, Will doesn't want to get a divorce because he doesn't want to have to give her half of the empire of wealth that he's built. Okay? That's likely why that is, beloved. Just a guess. But so with that all being said, Jet Black said, why do we give Jada energy? Well, she's still a human being, beloved. And she said that someone tried to break in. But here's what I think. Now, if this is true, and I say if, because I don't believe much of what Jada says, okay? And she says she scared them off. Well, I'd like to know, if I could, how did she scare them off? How tall is Jada? How big is she? She scared them off. Did they just get scared because someone was at home? Did she pull a gun on them? Did she go to the window with no makeup? I have questions. I'm just wondering how she scared them off. But here's the thing, in all seriousness, this potentially could have happened, in my opinion, because Jada broadcast that she no longer lives with Will. Okay? She broadcast that she no longer lives with Will. Maybe they should have kept that to themselves, because here's the thing. When you're a celebrity or someone, well, anybody really, but specifically celebrities, okay? Because people look for them to have wealth and things like that. Maybe those two guys felt like nobody's going to be there to protect her. Maybe she's just going to be there by herself. At the end of the day, maybe they did it because they knew that she would be there by herself and that there was no man around. I don't know. Oh, G Patricia said, Queen, not no makeup. I'm just saying. So, I don't know, beloveds. What do you all think? What do you all think was going down? Because I have several questions. Kimberly said, Kimberly said entanglements, queen, entanglements. It could have been some of her entanglements come back to haunt her. I don't know. I don't know who all she's brought there, because that's another thing. You have to be careful who you bring to your home, especially when you have that type of money and stuff, because you never know. Someone could come back, and try to take a little something. So I would hope that Jada needs to get security. I mean, I would think that here's the thing. They got that close because they were at the window, I believe it said, and she saw them and they saw her. Jada doesn't have a fancy security system, because I would think that she does. I mean, my friend is rich. She's probably not as rich as Jada, I'm sure, but nonetheless, she has this security system that, honey, as soon as you come near the property, walk up on the property, before you even get close to the house, it's telling her and everyone home that someone's on the property. And it tells you that you're on the property. You have just reached a such and such. You are being recorded. Comes out real loud and bold. So my thing is, she doesn't have one of those. Pearlie says, sorry, queen, don't care for Jada. Jada, she's the devil. Well, she could be. She could be. So, I just have questions. Oh, hell no, said Jada's living richly ghetto. All right, I've had enough. You all going in on the poor woman. The woman clearly almost got burglarized. Queen Adia said, too many publicity stunts, wickedness instead of trusting y'all. You have a point. OG Patrice said, I believe that someone that knows them or knows how to get close to them. That too could be true, because one thing my mother always taught us growing up is that when someone comes to your home to steal something or to harm you or whatever, 9 times out of 10, not every case, but most of the time, it's someone that you know and who's been there to know exactly what's inside. Now, we all know that some people go riding around looking for wealthy homes to break into, but sometimes it's the people that you absolutely already know. All right. Now, G from the land says, sounds fake to me. I got questions. Well, we'll see what the police report or what the police investigation comes up with, because she said she scared them off. I still would like to know how. They didn't mention how she did it. So I have some questions. Queen Sam said it's February or maybe August. 6'3" Soldier said facts, queen. Okay. Terry Hartfield said publicity stunt. BM Forever said you said it right. It's always someone that knows you. Okay. Now, with that all being said, oh, hell no, said perhaps Tupac was checking on her. Okay, now y'all going too far. Let's get started. This was not supposed to be a funny story, but I should have known better. Okay, now let's talk about Judge Greg Mathis. Now, as I told you all, I love and respect Judge Greg Mathis, but nonetheless, he has to be called out just as well as anyone else. If I do something nefarious, then you all should call me out as well. And sometimes you have. Okay, so with that all being said, let's talk about it. Because, you see, I find it all interesting that Judge Mathis had the nerve and the gall and the audacity, dare I say, to say that Monique was an embarrassment. Now, he didn't say Monique specifically, but who was he talking about? He was basically talking about Monique and Cat Williams, I think. And I'm going to really venture to say that it was probably more so Monique, since he came out with a statement after Monique was on the show. And so let's just play it again quickly. Here's what he had to say. And then I'm going to remind him of how if Monique was an embarrassment, if Cat was an embarrassment, well, Judge Mathis beloved, so were you. So let's get into it.
I want to appeal to our comedians to stop going after each other in public like this. You're embarrassing yourselves. You're embarrassing our community. I know many times you have to defend yourself about what's being said, but why can't we do it directly? And I just want you to know, I believe that we're being laughed at all the major studios and by their executives, seeing us in public, black folks going at each other. You don't see this among other communities. And that's why I say you're hurting yourselves and you're hurting our community and you're hurting the young people who are looking and want to learn and need to learn how to resolve disputes in a better way. I'm no saint. I'm guilty of having temper issues from time to time on my show. That's entertainment. You guys say what you want as part of your entertainment, but don't go out your way and personally attack each other, particularly your families. I appeal.
Nick, I don't know if anybody said this.
Okay, let me stop you right there, Judge Greg Mathis. You see, because as I got off of this live on yesterday, I thought about a little old something that Judge Mathis did years ago, and that's when he went off on Wendy Williams, talked about it like a dog, and he did it publicly. Here's the thing also to let me point out. He said that rather than doing it publicly, you should do it directly. Well, they did do it directly. They went back and forth online. The exact same thing you did, Judge Greg Mathis. With all due respect, Judge Greg Mathis, you are not the one who needs to talk. And as I said yesterday, beloved, I think it would have been best if you just sat this one out. Now I'm going to have to reopen old wounds and pull back the Band-Aid, okay? And let everyone remember and recollect and recall what, in fact, you said to Wendy. But also, beloveds, when you listen to this tirade, this rant that Judge Mathis went on, here's what I want you to pay attention to. There's two things that I want you to pay very close attention to. No, matter of fact, there's three. The first thing I want you to pay attention to, and it's a long rant. It's about 10 to 12 minutes. So I'm going to play it in two parts. But what I want you to pay specific attention to is as to why he got angry. Judge Mathis went on Wendy Williams' radio show, and she did what she always has done. She was gossiping. She was a celebrity gossiper. And so she was asking him about rumors of him and indiscretions within his marriage. And he got upset. My grandmother always said that hit dogs holler. Not saying that he's a hit dog. I'm just telling you what my grandmother always said. You see, I find that in most cases, when there's nothing for anyone to prove, when they're accusing you of something, if you haven't done it, that you don't have any reason to really get so upset. You see, that's the difference between Monique and DL. Monique was never angry when she was talking about it. She simply just kept talking about it. But DL was hostile. He was angry. He was vulgar. And he even went in on full attack mode and started disparaging Monique's looks and such things. You see, what you need to pay attention to, beloveds, is when people start calling you names, talking about the way you look, that's because they know that they're trying to either hide something that you're calling them out on, or they know or think they're losing the argument. The next thing I want you to pay attention to is while he was arguing with Wendy Williams, he went in on the young man who was there. Now, the young man was behaving childishly, making noises and all of that. But at the same time, the young man really didn't have anything to do with it. And Judge Mathis said disparaging things about him too. I want you to not only pay attention to the fact that he said disparaging things to this young man, but I want you to pay attention to what he said to this young man, because I find it all interesting that he talked about this young man's sexuality. And at the same time, Judge Greg Mathis has a son who is exactly what he called that young man. And if I recall, he also once had a brother who's passed away, may he rest in peace, who also has is a part of that same sexuality that he accused that young man of being. Now, the question here is this. If that young man is what Judge Greg Mathis said, why would he point that out as if it were an insult? Why would he use that to disparage the young man? Because Judge Mathis, your own son, is what you said. So why would you do that? Another thing is, he said, don't talk about the families and all of that. That's what he said. Well, Judge Greg Mathis, you talked about Wendy's husband. So I'm sorry, everything that he said was an embarrassment to us. It's exactly what he did way before Monique and Cat Williams. So let us listen to the audio. And don't forget, there's two separate videos. And I'm going to start with the first one. And the first one is 7.5 minutes long. Here we go.
On this show, whether it's TV or radio, one thing that Wendy Williams does is keep it real with her audience. Now, my audience knows all about me and what I've been through, and what they don't know, I go into explicit details in my book. Now, that might not be true, according to you, about this woman that allegedly you slept with. You allegedly got her pregnant. Listen to let me.
Hold on. Let me make sure I'm playing the right one first. Hold on.
That's right. You know, screw other women in front of.
Okay, here we go. Let me start it over.
On this show, whether it's TV or radio, one thing that Wendy Williams does is keep it real with her audience. Now, my audience knows all about me and what I've been through, and what they don't know, I go into explicit details in my book. Now, that might not be true, according to you, about this woman that allegedly you slept with. You allegedly got her pregnant. Listen to let me draw up the skeleton, Judge, and then you fill in the meat.
Wendy, I didn't read that part. Now you making that up.
Okay, let me draw
now you and WBLS about to be sued for defamation. You gonna make some stuff
okay,
up here
Judge,
that
you
wasn't
are
even alleged.
Okay,
now that's called defamation.
All right.
That's called defamation, Wendy.
Okay,
she did not allege that.
All right, look.
I'll tell you what she alleged, and it wasn't that.
All right, you tell me what she alleged, Judge, in all of your anger.
I'm not angry.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
I'm not angry.
Okay.
She said that she had an encounter with me where I was getting high,
doing cocaine,
based on your nasal passages and all these days you're missing at work and going in and out of the bathroom right while I'm here in the studio. As I told you, I've never used
New York
cocaine
City.
in
Are
my
you following
life.
me?
Listen, I've never used cocaine in my life.
Okay,
never in my
tell
life.
me what else she alleged, Judge.
She also alleged that I asked her to sleep with my wife.
Yes, she did.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right, and so, and if you want to believe that ridiculous nonsense, you feel free to. But and you want to keep fueling it when no one else has even asked me about it.
Nobody else keeps it real like
everyone
this.
in the media knows that tabloids print trash, but every week that they pay people to come up with you or anyone in this studio to go to a tabloid and tell them, I want to sell you a story on someone, and they'll buy it.
Right.
And if that's the type of stuff that you fuel on your show,
and
feel free to. But I don't know what else you want me to tell you.
I also got it.
I didn't do it.
I also
and
got
I
it
have
from
nothing to do with it. And I don't know the woman, never met her, never used cocaine. Now, let's talk about fueling your stuff. You, on the other hand, have admitted to being addicted to cocaine.
Absolutely.
Secondly, you continue to show symptoms of your addiction.
Okay.
Lastly,
what are those symptoms? Tell me.
These nasal passages you keep coughing up.
And I did Afrin.
This eternal cold that you continue to have.
Yes,
that you can't have to come to work because every other week, and now you're even stupid so low as to blame it on your baby, your newborn. How low can you get? That's about as low as you can get, to blame your child for your cocaine addiction. Then, lastly, your bisexual activity. I'm sure your audience want to know about that. I've heard that rumor.
I'm sure my husband would love that.
Yeah. Oh, he watches? Does he watch when you do it?
Yes. Don't you know?
No, I don't know. I didn't know you were that low down. Lastly, we can continue with what I heard about all those abortions. Like 8? You had 8 abortions? That's what I heard. That's the rumor. Now you want to keep fueling that? Did you write about that in your book?
I wrote about abortion in my book.
All 8 of them?
Yes, I wrote. I have an abortion. Unlike you, Judge, I'll be smarter about my book. I don't reveal everything for free. People must buy my book to get the information that they need to get.
To finance this radio show knowing that you had 8 abortions, a cocaine addict, and a bisexual. Sponsors continue to put up money for this show.
You know what, Judge? You are
better watch out for the anti-abortion crowd. I can tell you that.
Let me just say
watch out for them. You better say something to them. Don't explain to me.
Let me say
you ain't no trial with me. That's who you
Let me say something to you and to everybody listening.
Go right ahead.
You
thought you were going to get me on here and hijack me.
You are the Tyson Beckford.
You got the wrong person,
You are the Tyson Beckford of the protest
I'm not some of these soft guys you done had on here that you think you can talk anything to. I come from the hardest streets of America. And if you think you're going to send me back to the streets fueling these nonsensical rumors that come in a tabloid. I'm not fueling anything, but I'm just listening. Other tabloid article where I'm supposed to beat up the Reverend. Me and Reverend Jackson jumped on a preacher in L.A. You didn't see that?
No.
Or you're just too fixated on drugs and sex to discuss that? Is that your problem? You got a real fixation with drugs and sex, and that's all you talk about from what I understand on your show. And now we know why you had all those 8 abortions.
Out of the courtroom right now.
My God, do you have any spirituality in you at all?
Tell
you need
us
to
about,
go to church. What church do you go to?
Tell us about
Because you need God in your life.
Tell us about the beatdown,
And
Judge.
I'm not mad. Anyone that knows my show know that I don't take any disrespect, or I don't let anybody say anything they want to me without me checking them real strong and real tough. And that's what you getting today, Wendy. You're getting a real good checking. All right, which is what you need, and quite frankly, it's overdue. You get folks on your show, and you just think you can talk and say anything you want to them. Well, that's what I do on my show, and my show has higher ratings than yours. So I'm trumping
very
you today.
interesting part
I'm trumping you today.
No, you're not
and
trumping
I'm
me,
you
Judge.
That you're gonna have to listen.
You're actually not trumping anything. What me and my audience talk about we talk about on a regular basis, and it's actually very comical to me. All of the protesting you're doing, it's almost like, you know that saying, thou dost protest too much?
Being checked. Understand me clearly. This is called when you think that you can just treat people unfairly and say what you want.
I am not saying what I want to you. I simply asked you about this woman, and you immediately jumped to the highest of protestivity.
I tell you what I immediately did.
Something WBLS New York.
I immediately told you that it was untrue, and I told you that it was tabloid trash, which all public figures have to endure.
Right.
And then you continue to want to talk about it for 10 more minutes. And I informed you that you were fueling rumors by continuing to talk about it, thereby damaging my reputation. And I'm not going to let you do that. And when you try to do that, you're going to get checked every time you do it. Are you clear on that? Or do I have to continue checking you over and over? Because I will. As long as I'm here and as long as you get out of order, I will check you.
So,
yeah.
So you don't know this woman?
There you go again. Are you still getting high? Because I just saw you leave the bathroom looking like you were getting high. In fact, you got white powder around your nose right now. Yes, you do. Ask your colleagues.
Okay, can we bring a close up?
Doesn't it look like she got white powder around her nose?
The VH1 camera.
You got powder around your nose. Let's take a look. It looks like it to me. It looks like you got white powder to me around your nose.
I don't know whether
you still a dope fiend. I need to check you in the rehab and pray for you.
Well,
you need help, sweetie.
Let's all get along.
Turn to Christ. Can't save you.
All right.
Where should go to?
Where's my deck of cards at?
You picked the wrong one this time, Wendy. That's all.
No, I think I picked the right one, baby.
That's right. You want to build your ratings up on me.
This is
you
like,
want to build your ratings up on a real star. That's right, baby.
Look.
Woo, honey, that was a lot. And we're only halfway through. Please pay attention. So now, before I play the second half, let's talk about, in fact, some of the things that the judge said. Because he went all in. It was no holds barred. But he says that Monique and Kat are embarrassing because they're going back and forth. Honey, please. He said a whole lot worse, okay? Now, let's talk about it. First off, he immediately started going in on her. Immediately started going in on the poor woman. I mean, he talked about her 8 abortions, or accused her of, in fact, having 8 abortions. Now, here's my thing. He said, let's not talk about families. Okay, he not only mentions her husband in this exchange, but he also mentioned her son. He said, you're going to try to blame it on your newborn, on your child? You're going to bring your child? See, he brought those things up. Okay, and then Sarah Silver says, sorry, Queen, I don't like the judge. He's very disrespectful when he's doing wrong. I can't with elders like these. Well, that's my point. You see, that's my point, beloved, because he said that they're embarrassing themselves and they're making it look bad for the youngsters who are coming behind them. He's a whole judge. Who do you think that people revere more? Who do you think that people have more respect for? Comedians or judges? He acted very unprofessionally at the end of the day. Now, hold on. Because he brought up her child. He accused her of being bisexual. And some of it, I think, was deflection because he said something about her messing around with women in front of her husband while the husband watched. And Wendy said, yeah, I do. I absolutely do. Now, of course, I think Wendy was being sarcastic. But then he said, I didn't know you were that low down. Well, the funny thing about that is the woman that Wendy was questioning him about accused him of the same thing. The woman alleged that he asked her to sleep with his wife. And notice how he was stuttering when Wendy said, well, what did she allege? Because he told Wendy, oh, she didn't even allege that about me getting her pregnant. Now, see, now you and BLS is about to get sued. Now you're about to get sued. Let me remind you, he never sued her. That's what you do when someone defames you. You sue them for defamation, libel, and slander. I say it all the time. He never sued Wendy. Okay? Not to my knowledge. Not to my knowledge. Does anyone know different? Battle Axe said Judge Mathis is a certified hypocrite. Yes, certified and bona fide, beloved. Okay? Now, he talked about the abortions. He said, are they still sponsoring you? The people that sponsor her radio broadcast. He said, are they still sponsoring you? Now, that was a dig at her livelihood. Because what he was trying to imply was he wanted them to not sponsor her. Like, why are y'all giving her money? She had all these abortions. He brought that up. And then he threw a dog whistle and said, the anti-abortion crowd, that's who you're going to have to worry about. Yeah, the anti-abortion crowd. That was the dog whistle. He's signaling for them to come for her in that moment. Okay? And then he told her, I'm not going to let you take me back to the streets. I come from some of the toughest streets in America. You're not going to take me back to the streets. Judge Greg Mathis, you just took yourself back to the streets. You see, here's the thing. I'm inclined to believe that what Wendy was asking him had truth to it. Not saying that it was 100%, but maybe there was a little truth to it because he was that angry, had such vitriol. Another thing is he's saying that Wendy was trying to bring up stuff like she's just trying to start stuff with him and she wanted to go on and on. The rumors were already out. And he knew that because he even corrected her about what was supposedly alleged. So that means he heard the rumors himself. He already knew they were out. Why was he so angry at Wendy for simply asking him about it? He knows and knew at the time that she was a celebrity gossiper. He already knew that. Wavy though said he was sounding like DL. Yes, he was. Is that why he's mad at Monique and Kat? Is that why he says they're an embarrassment? Because that's who he was talking about. Okay? And when he specifically said talking about families and all that, he was talking about Monique. He was definitely talking about Monique because DL was painting the narrative that Monique came for his daughter when really she came for him not protecting his daughter. So he was clearly talking about Monique in that instance. Okay? So with that all being said, and then he tried to deflect by saying, well, what about that story about me beating up the preacher? You're not going to talk about that? All you want to talk about is sex and drugs? What? He tried to bring up another story, in my opinion, to deflect. Okay? And then he said that everybody knows that he don't let anybody talk any kind of way to him without getting checked. Here's the thing, though. Wendy wasn't talking disrespectfully to him. She just asked the question. And yes, she was being messy, but isn't that her job? And didn't he know that was her job before he came on the show? I want you all to pay attention because he is going to admit in the next segment, he's going to tell on himself. He's going to let it be known, at least for me, because I clearly caught it, that he knew or anticipated that Wendy would say something about that situation to him. So if you knew that, why are you so angry? If you didn't want to discuss it, why did you come on her show? So I just want you all to pay attention to that. Now, Let's go to the second part. Miss Evie says Judge Mathis is very sarcastic. He's too much sometimes. Judge Joe Brown too. Yeah, I agree.
That's right. You know, screw other women in front of him. Oh, that's what you admitted to a minute ago. Remember, you just said he watches while you screw women. Isn't that what you said on the air? Your listeners heard you. You are denying it now?
Oh, boy.
Yeah, it's tough, isn't it?
Artie,
it's tough dealing with a real one when you're used to dealing with fakes.
Okay,
it's tough.
I just need somebody to weigh in on this. Artie, weigh in on exactly what is going on here, because you're here every day. You know how I deal with my listeners, and you know, can we take phone calls?
Let's take some phone calls.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's take phone calls. We'll take them right now.
Yes, sir.
And damn it, nobody curse. We need phone calls right now. Judge, you need to have you have headphones on. Okay. Hi, BLS, you're on the air. Hello? Is this the day that
Hello?
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 Hi.
She needs your help.
You're on.
Wendy needs your help.
I got you, Wendy. I got you.
No, turn your radio down. You're on the radio with me and the Judge Mathis.
Oh, okay.
All right, next. Lolo. The super people, super friends.
She needs your help.
Fan
she
out.
needs your help.
Hi, BLS.
Hello,
Hi.
is this Wendy?
Yeah.
Hey, Wendy, this is Valerie calling from the Bronx.
Hi, Valerie.
Hi, first time I get through to you.
How you doing?
Good. I'm listening to your interview with Judge Mathis.
Yeah.
What's up with him? He's going off on you.
That's right. I sure am, because she's spurring untrue rumors trying to damage my reputation.
I am not spurring them. We're dispelling them.
No. You've tried to talk about it for 20 minutes.
No,
yes, you have.
We're trying to dispel
them. And you did
them.
it with Chris Rock for 2 hours. Thought I wasn't going to hear about it, and I did. So I couldn't wait to get here to check you to your face. Sweetie, this is what I do on television every day, and thank you for watching.
That is true.
That's what I do. So I'm real. I am who I am.
Wendy,
I'm on
yes,
the phone
with you haven't been able to come back on him.
No, she can't. You know what? Judge, she too high.
Because I am absolutely.
She too high. That's what. Yeah.
And this is going to be my I think final comments on this while you're here,
because I have to do a book signing.
There's a woman who's alleged that you had an affair with her. She's a younger woman. She's about 24. She's got a big behind, long 2-inch nails, and she apparently went to sell her story someplace. All I'm asking you is, did you know the woman?
I told you that.
You said you didn't know her. Right. You said you've never smoked coke or done coke. But the way that you're reacting, you have to understand. Is
denial. The way that I'm acting is a person who knows that their reputation was defamed by you for 2 hours with Chris Rock behind my back based on trash tabloids. The way that I'm acting is that I came here today and then you tried to talk about it for 20 minutes after I dispelled it to you in 30 seconds. I've worked long and hard to overcome the streets of Detroit. I went from jail to the 15 years to the youngest judge in America, and I'll be damned if I'm gonna let you or anybody else defame my reputation with this nonsense.
Were you backstage at the BET Awards with gators and all like that?
Continuing to fuel rumors that are untrue. That's why I'm checking you and anybody else to do it. And this nut over here that keeps making noise while I'm talking, I'm gonna get on him in a minute. This little hood with his pants down below his butt like he got no respect for himself.
Looking at my butt, Judge?
Showing his nasty drawers that he ain't even washed. Don't nobody want to see that. And he must don't know that that's what they wear in prison. I know because I've been there. And the people who wear it in prison are the homosexuals who want to be someone's wife.
Let me ask you
if that's what he wants to be, I get him a husband.
Were you backstage? Were you backstage at the BET Awards?
Anyway,
I want you, Judge. How you doing?
The loafers.
I want you, baby.
Were you backstage at the BET Awards?
Anybody else want to get checked?
Flirting with the young girls.
I'm checking everybody here.
Were you backstage at the BET Awards?
The only person I was flirting with had my wife, and she was at my side every second. What woman did you hear I was supposed to be flirting with at the BET Awards?
I just heard you were back there taking pictures and being charming.
Taking pictures and being charming. And for that, you call me flirting. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? You see why I'm checking you? Because you just said what you heard was that I was backstage being nice and being charming and taking pictures. Well, you said you heard I flirting. It was actually different things. It was actually so once again, once again, you are trying to fuel things that hurt my reputation. I don't know why. Are you jealous? I hope your VH1 show takes off, but don't hate on me until it does. Hopefully you'll get on television. You keep trying. This pilot I'm giving you today, it might be the one that sells your show and gets you on television. Then you don't have to hate on me no more, Wendy. Then you don't have to try to fuel
Judge Mathis. Nobody's hating on you.
Outrageous allegations.
Nobody's hating on you.
Can you call me Judge?
Outrageous allegations. And so that's why I have to check you every step of the way.
The very interesting thing is that we've had people dispel rumors in much more calm ways than the judge, and I'm so shocked because the judge is more mature, and I just thought you would have a more mature
look at me.
I wish you haven't read the book, obviously.
I wish that the book just came out, Judge. I've been busy with my own book, telling my own truth, which is something that
printed 3 days. But you don't know me. That's why you thought I was doing.
He's concentrating on me.
That's why you thought I would be calm while you continue to defame me and damage my reputation. But I would never be calm if anybody tries to do that to me. All right. And they will get checked over and over and over, just like I'm doing you. And since I can't talk anymore, because your little homosexual girlfriend over here with his pants down by his butt like he has no respect for himself, keep interrupting. I'm out of here.
Judge, please call me.
And good luck on your show. But please stop hating on me. It'll be all right.
I love you.
I love you. Do you need some money?
I've got my own
for your cocaine habit.
Oh yes,
I don't want to give you the money. That's right. Have a good day, sweetie, and take that
Judge, I'm bending
homosexual
over
with you. All right. Bye bye.
There he goes.
Bye bye. Bye bye, Judge. Are you gonna call me, Judge? How you doing?
And he cursed.
Come here, Judge.
Woo, honey, that was a whole lot. I'm sorry, but Monique and Kat is a problem. The comedians going back and forth is the issue. Judge Mathis, please. Lest he forgot, honey, he went in. I mean, if doing too much was a person, he was clearly pressed. And he said that Wendy was trying to, Softly Love said this is embarrassing. It absolutely is. Now, he said Wendy was trying to damage his reputation. No, beloved, the person who said those things about you to begin with was trying to damage your reputation. That's how that went. G from the Land said, Judge Mathis is a whole contradiction. Exactly, and that's my point. That's why I aired the footage, okay? That's why I played the audio, rather. Because he had all that to say, talking about they're an embarrassment to their community. They're making us look bad. I think that other people are laughing at us. You didn't think anyone laughed at that? Because I know I did when I heard it. Y'all know y'all laughed at it too. Those of you who heard that years ago when it came out, I'm sure that you laughed at it. But of course, DC said he thought it was cool at the time. Darnell said, was that 2 women? Okay. Sierra said he had to know that's what she was going to talk about. Here's the thing. I'm glad you brought that up. Because if you notice, as I told you, he claims to have known she was going to bring it up. He says that she talked about it to Chris Rock for 2 hours, thinking that he wouldn't hear about it. But he heard about it. And he said, that's why I came here, to check you. So you came there to check her. So you expected her to bring it up. If she brought it up for 2 hours to Chris Rock, then you should have known she would bring it up to you, which clearly he said he did. So why was he so mad? I don't get it. And then he called the young man a homosexual and said, do you need me to find you a husband? Talked about him having on dirty drawers and all of that. I hadn't heard dirty drawers in a long time. Most people call them underwear these days, but anyway, I digress. Okay, and then pay attention, because this is what he said. I want y'all to pay attention. He said, anybody else want to get checked? I'm checking everybody today. He said no one is ever going to check him without him going off, without him checking them over and over and over. He said, I will never be calm when somebody's saying stuff. I'm going to always check them over and over. Then, right before he exited, he asked her, "Do you need some money?" "Oh, that would only pay for your cocaine habits." What he said. And then did y'all hear him curse as he left the room? He said, "Effing, I don't effing play around," or something like that. I'm sorry, Judge Mathis. I'm sorry, Judge Mathis. That was not professional. And quite frankly, that is not becoming for the youth to be listening to. You're supposed to be a pillar of the community, and yet there you were, getting low down in the dirt. Now, he called Wendy low down, but how low did he, in fact, go? Judge Mathis, please, you're going to have to wear this one. Tonio said it sounded like his neck was rolling real hard. Please pay attention. Not his neck was rolling real hard. Oh, hell no, said pimping ain't easy. Booker's DC said, "Queen, don't do it. Just don't do it. You in this crap too." That crazy bitch Eric said Mathis got a big ego. Okay, Miss Eva said Judge Mathis did the limbo to the ground, honey. Okay, he went to hell and back. Honey. That's how low he went, please. All right, so anyway, with that all being said, Judge Mathis is the last one who should be trying to talk about someone embarrassing somebody. And it's funny that he didn't seem to recall that when he was talking, because all he seemed to have recollected was the fact that, "Oh, I check people on my show. I say stuff on my show, but that's entertainment. Aren't comedians entertainment? Are we not? And were we not entertained?" Sorry, we were. So with that all being said, OG Patrice said all that defensiveness is a sign of guilt. Pay attention. Exactly. I absolutely believe he's guilty. Why did he get that mad? Honey, he was furious. He was fuming, honey. He was fired up. Okay? Like we say in Kentucky, he was fired up. All right. Whew. It was detrimental, honey. Please pay attention. It was detrimental. All right. And so, anyway, with that all being said, honey, he felt oh so entitled since that crazy bitch Harris. He clearly did. He said, "I'm the judge here." He wasn't even on the bench, but he used that. I just find it all interesting because, like I said, those who live in glass houses shouldn't throw rocks. Is all I'm saying. Judge Mathis. Still love you, though. I still love you. But I just had to remind you, okay, beloved, don't sit up there and try to go in on somebody else for doing the same thing that you yourself have done. And that's not the first or the last time that he's done that, I'm sure. Because he said anytime somebody says something about him, he's going to go off. He's not going to be calm. "I'm never going to be calm." That's what he said. But you expect Monique to. But when people done cheated her out of her money, done talked about her and got her blackballed and blacklisted, she's supposed to stay calm, but you're not. Brought up Wendy's abortions and everything, honey. It was all deplorable as far as I'm concerned. And somebody said that that was Wendy's karma. No, that's not her karma. That's not her karma. Or they said that she's sick now, and that's her karma. She's not sick now because of karma, beloved. She's sick now because of what she said about the venom. That's what I think. That's my opinion. I think she's sick now because of what she said about that venom. Because it happened right after. I don't think it's a coincidence. But hey, what do I know? Okay, so with that all being said, okay, Re-Educated Soul says, shouldn't try to check folks if your closet isn't clean. If your closet is cluttered. Exactly. Aeon said that was distasteful. It sure was. It absolutely was. That crazy bitch Eric said, Queen, did you hear Tasha K on Monique? I didn't hear what she said lately. I did hear her say that people went in on her about Monique, so I'm gathering she didn't say anything nice. But also, I'm not surprised because years ago, I think it was 2022, when the contract dispute emerged between her and DL, at that point, Tasha K was talking greasy about Monique then. She was talking greasy about Monique then, and then she was clowning Monique for calling people her sweet babies and all that. And, you know, she was not on Monique's side then, so I'm not surprised. Not surprised at the end of the day. Silas D said, Karma has no menu. You got served what you deserved. Okay. And also Silas D said, that's defending yourself 100. Well, yeah, he was defending himself. He sure was. But my point is, so was Monique. And so was Cat Williams. And so was DL. And so was everybody that he said is an embarrassment. They were all defending themselves. Now, just like him in his defense of himself, DL got overly aggressive and hostile and took it all the way down to the dirt. He took it low. Okay, he did too much. And so did Judge Mathis. See, when you start disparaging people who've not said anything about your looks, who've not, tried to go in on you like that, well, that just shows me that there's a bigger problem with you. Okay? And he even said in the first clip when he said they were embarrassed, the video where he was going in saying that the comedians need to stop and all that because they're embarrassing. He said that he's been known to have anger issues. Well, we all know that from listening. It's clear that he has anger issues. Okay? It's clear that he has anger issues. Aeon said it's going over their heads, Queen. Well, it's going over Silas's head, beloved. Definitely going over Silas's head. But I think that Silas is trolling again like he was yesterday. So Silas, I'm going to tell you like this. If you do keep trolling, I'm going to have the moderators to block you. I'm going to have the moderators to block you, okay? Because I'm not here for trolls. All right? Doesn't matter who they are. Silas said, I like how you have a good memory, Queen. I do have a good memory. Thank you. But at the end of the day, stop trolling Silas. Now, with that all being said, Greta said, why DL have to talk about Monique's weight? Exactly. Here's the reason. I'm glad you asked. You see, beloved, when you come for someone with receipts that they can't dispute, what will they do? Well, they'll start to disparage you. They'll start to talk about your looks because that's all they have left. I want you all to pay very close attention to that. When someone is engaged in a heated debate or argument with you, and you are saying things that are true, and they cannot defend themselves with other things to dispute what you are in fact saying, then they get angry and they start to insult you. That's what always comes next. And I want you all to remember that when I was exposing Wig, when I was exposing Bussy Reek's people came in my chat and they started trying to talk about my looks. You can talk about my looks all you want. You can talk about it all you want. You see, they say beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So, I may be ugly to some people, but not to myself. Okay? So that stuff doesn't bother me because I know that they were only saying those things because they were mad. Because the stuff I said about Bussy Reek was 100% facts and accurate. And I had the receipts and they knew it. So they couldn't dispute it. Bussy Reek couldn't dispute it. That's why he never tried. He talked greasy to Michi X. He talked greasy about Taharka Bay and anybody else that comes for him. He never came for me because he don't have anything to say. Okay? His people, his minions, they had to try to defend him because he didn't defend himself against me. And so with that all being said, when they were talking all that slick stuff, did I get mad like Judge Mathis? Did I get angry and go off and talk about people's looks? I didn't do that. I laughed. Remember the young man who called himself Sabir Broke? And he got up here because I was dropping the links for them left and right. Because I don't have any problem. Because you can't ever embarrass the queen, baby. You never could. You'd have to first be relevant for me to be embarrassed. See, and none of them were. But remember how I kept dropping the link and the Nashidians kept getting on here? And one of them, Sabir Broke, he said, oh, you cockeyed. And he was like, what's wrong with your eyes and all that? And I said, I'm not cockeyed. And if I am, I still look good, right? Yeah, if I'm cockeyed, I still look good. And I have beautiful brown eyes as far as I'm concerned. So with that all being said, I laughed it off because that stuff don't bother me. And just like Monique said, you can call her fat. That doesn't bother her. Okay, she's probably been called fat her whole life. You got to come better than that. Is that all you got? See, that's what I'm saying. People will disparage you and talk about your looks when they have nothing else left. That's the last straw for them. That's the last resort, shall I say. That's their last resort. Aeon said, how elementary school? Right. That Curtis Beach area said, was that the jailbird? Yeah, one of them did look like he was in jail. Do y'all remember that? When I dropped the link and one of them literally was behind bars. Juju B said Queen was dropping links, okay, and kicking arses. All right, you know I don't have no problem. All right, Pearl said Queen is only a truth speaker, period. Stop haters. You can't touch the Queen, period. Thank you, beloved. And so they were just mad. They were just mad, honey. That's all that was. Re-educated Soul says, just trash. The Queen is beautiful. They need to have several seats. Thank you, beloved. Okay, so now with that all being said, let's get into it because I want you all to watch. I want you all to watch some, hold on. Okay, I want you all to watch now. Remember, it's Black History Month, and you all know how I do. Those of you who know how I do, who've been following me my day ones, Ray Williams said, oh, hell no. You look damn good. Queen, my goddess, you look good. I love you. And I love you right, Black beloved. Thank you for the kind words. Okay. That Crazy Beach Era said, I remember. I'm here for all the nefariousness. Okay, so Prime One said he turned straight ninja on her. Yeah, he absolutely did, honey. He showed his true colors. Pay attention. Now, with that all being said, you all know who are my day ones. You know that on Black History Month or during Black History Month that I talk about things or show things that happened in our past, specifically during civil rights and all that stuff. Now, probably sometime next week, we're going to be talking about Black inventors. I'll show some things on that. But so now let's talk about Emmett Till because I'm going to show you some footage of people who were actually there when it happened. Emmett Till's cousins, okay? They talk about what really happened because they were there. Greta Lee said, not only is Queen attractive, she is smart. Thank you, beloved. Y'all are so sweet, okay? So with that all being said, let's go ahead and get into it. And I want to tell you all something. This Friday, I'm going to have a treat. I'm going to give away 1 or 2 ebooks. 1 or 2 ebooks, but I'm telling you right now, the questions that I'm going to ask for the trivia will absolutely be based on the videos that I show that pertain to Black History Month. Okay? The questions will be about the things I show pertaining to Black History Month. And here's the thing. Here's the thing. It may be on this channel or it may be on the backup channel. Because I'm going to be talking about Black History Month things on both channels. All right. But so anyway, without further ado, let's get into it. Because I have a whole nother live coming up in like 10 minutes.
Anything going on, he's in the middle of all of it. And he just loved to play ball. He just loved jokes. He would pay people to tell him jokes. If there was a group there, Emmett was in front. And he was the lively one. He was the one that everybody kind of looked to. Natural born leader.
In June of 1955, Black Chicago swung to a new kind of music called rock and roll. A Supreme Court decision had struck down school segregation the year before. Emmett finished 7th grade, and in July, he turned 14.
I knew Emmett Till. We went to grammar school together. And Emmett was a fun young man, just like any other young teenager. The boys wore polyester pants, crepe sole shoes. I would wear flared skirts with the crinoline underneath. You must have the crinoline. And we were doing the bop. That's the bebop. And we just danced and had fun. And we were just all good friends.
In August, Emmett's great-uncle, Mose Wright, visited Chicago and invited Emmett and his cousin Wheeler home to Mississippi. Before she let them go, Mamie schooled the boys on the ways of the South.
I let them know that Mississippi was not Chicago. And when you go to Mississippi, you're living by an entirely different set of rules. It is yes, ma'am, and no, ma'am, yes, sir, and no, sir. And, Bo, if you see a white woman coming down the street, you get off the sidewalk and drop your head. Don't even look at her.
The concern for Emmett was that he could be, with his fun-loving, free-spirited way of living, he could get in trouble, could have a lot of problems. He was 14, but he just turned 14. He was just 13 a few weeks before we went down there.
He thought I was exaggerating, which I was. I was trying to exaggerate. If I could go high enough, things could soak into his head that you have to be very careful.
As Emmett packed his bags, Mississippi was set to explode. 2 black men had recently been killed for registering black voters. And a push to implement the new law on school desegregation had whites from the Delta to the State House spitting fire.
You are not going to permit the NAACP to take over your school. You are not going to permit the NAACP to control your state.
It was argued in coffee shops all over the Deep South that if we give on this, then we'll start giving on everything else. And the first thing you know, we won't have a segregated society. And black people will be taking over in this part of the country.
We are not going to...
A lot of the leadership was going around making outrageous threats and claiming they weren't going to obey the law and that sort of thing. Consequences was that almost anything could happen to anybody at any time down there.
On August 19th, Mamie gave Emmett the ring that had belonged to his father. The next morning, Emmett and his mother grabbed his bags and rushed off to the 63rd Street station.
He was running up the steps to try to make it to the train, and I said, Emmett, Bo, I called him Bo. I said, where are you going? You haven't kissed me goodbye. And how do I know I'll ever see you again? And he looked at me and he said, oh, Mama. He kind of scolded me for saying something like that. But he turned around, he came back, and he kissed me goodbye. And he said, here, take this. He pulled his watch off and gave it to me. He said, I won't need this where I'm going. I said, what about your ring? He said, oh, I'm going to show it off to the fellows. And with that, he was up the steps and on his way to get on the train.
Emmett rode the Illinois Central, 16 hours out of Chicago, to the Mississippi Delta.
We went to South near the beginning of cotton picking time, late August. And we picked cotton for half a day. And we would go swimming, run the snakes out the river. We had a lot of fun.
Emmett's family lived on the outskirts of Money, a whistle-stop town in the heart of Delta cotton country.
The town of Money was one street with maybe 5 or 6 stores, but that's all, just one.
Okay. I'm sorry, I'm writing down my trivia questions. All right, so with that all being said, let's go to the second part.
On August 19th, Mamie gave Emmett the ring that had belonged to his father. The next morning, Emmett and his mother grabbed his bags and rushed off to the 63rd Street station.
He was running up the steps to try to make it to the train, and I said, Emmett, Bo, I called him Bo. I said, where are you going? You haven't kissed me goodbye. And how do I know I'll ever see you again? And he looked at me and he said, oh, Mama. He kind of scolded me for saying something like that. But he turned around, he came back, and he kissed me goodbye. And he said, here, take this. He pulled his watch off and gave it to me. He said, I won't need this where I'm going. I said, what about your ring? He said, oh, I'm going to show it off to the fellows. And with that, he was up the steps and on his way to get on the train.
Emmett rode the Illinois Central, 16 hours out of Chicago, to the Mississippi Delta.
We went to South near the beginning of cotton picking time, late August. And we picked cotton for half a day. And we would go swimming, run the snakes out the river. We had a lot of fun.
Emmett's family lived on the outskirts of Money, a whistle-stop town in the heart of Delta cotton country.
The town of Money was one street with maybe 5 or 6 stores, but that's all, just one street. Wasn't much, wasn't really a town.
At one end of Money was Bryant's Grocery, which made a business of selling candy to black kids and provisions to field hands from nearby plantations. Roy Bryant, a 24-year-old ex-soldier, and his wife Carolyn owned the grocery and not much else. The Bryants lived with their 2 boys in cramped rooms behind the store. Roy's half-brother, J.W. Milam, helped out around the grocery. The 235-pound Milam was a hard-drinking man with a reputation for being tough on anyone who got in his way. On a steamy Wednesday afternoon, Emmett and 7 other teenagers piled into Mose Wright's old Ford and headed to Bryant's Grocery.
The day that we went to the store in Money, we were picking cotton first half of the day and the second half because it was so hot. My uncle drove the car and we took off to Money to get some refreshments, just general things you buy in a store.
Roy Bryant was out of town, leaving his wife Carolyn alone behind the counter when Emmett and his cousins pulled up. Other customers were sitting outside, talking and playing checkers in the cool of the shade. 1 or 2 at a time, the boys drifted into the store and back out again with a cold drink or a piece of candy. Then Emmett went in and bought 2 cents worth of bubble gum. According to witnesses, on his way out of the store, Emmett turned to Carolyn Bryant and whistled. She stormed out.
We all got scared and someone said she's going to get a pistol. That's when we became afraid. Said she's going to the car to get a pistol. And as she went to the car, we all jumped in my uncle's car. I'm going pretty fast and dust is flying behind us. And of course, Emmett Till begged us not to tell our grandfather what it took place. And we didn't. This was on a Wednesday, and we didn't tell them what had taken place. So Wednesday went by, Thursday went by, nothing. Friday, we forgot about it.
Sunday morning, about 2:30, I heard a voice at the door. And they said, this is Mr. Bryant, and said they wanted the boy that did the talk at Money. And when I opened the door, there was a man standing with a pistol in one hand and a flashlight in the other.
It was like a nightmare. I mean, someone come and stand over you with a pistol in one hand, a flashlight, and you're 16 years old. This is a terrifying experience, very terrifying.
And so we marched on around through 2 rooms, and I found the boy in the 3rd room in the bed with my baby boy. And they told him to get up and put his clothes on.
Mose Wright pleaded with the 2 men. He's only 14, and he's from up north. Why not give the boy a whipping, Wright begged, and leave it at that?
The 2 in the next room, cousin and uncle, they never woke up. My Uncle Sammy did wake up, but they told him to go back to sleep. He's 12 years old. And I just say, hey, I'm fixing to die.
J.W. Milam turned to Mose Wright. How old are you, preacher? He asked. 64, Wright replied. You make any trouble, you'll never live to be 65.
Yeah, to the car, they asked the question, is this the right one?
Okay, said, is this the right one? So we're gonna finish this up tomorrow. I'm gonna play 2 more excerpts because the next video is starting at 10. I changed the time on it, so it's gonna start in like 15 minutes. So I'm gonna play the last 2 clips. One of them is 1 minute long, and the other one's like 2 minutes. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and play these, and then we'll finish up tomorrow. Sorry, that's the wrong one. This is the one with his uncle Mose Wright speaking, and the next one is going to be his mother Mamie Till describing how he looked when she saw his body.
This is Mose Wright. I am the uncle of Emmett Lewis Till. Sunday morning about 2:30, someone called at the door, and I said, "Who is it?" And he said, "This is Mr. Bryant. I want to talk with you and the boy." And when I opened the door, there was a man standing with a pistol in one hand and a flashlight in the other hand. And he asked me, did I have 2 boys there from Chicago? I told him I have. And he said, I want the boy that done all that talk. They marched him to the car, and they asked someone there, was this is the right boy? And the answer was, he is. And they drove toward money.
Okay, here's the last clip for today.
On to get a body that I can't even look at? How do I know what's in the box? I said, I mean, if you can't open the box, I can. And I'm going in the box. I had to see, though, what was in there. And I decided then that I would start at his feet and work my way up, maybe gathering strength as I went. I paused at his midsection because I knew he would not want me looking at him. But I saw enough that I knew he was intact. I kept on up until I got to his chin. And then I was forced to deal with this face. I saw his tongue had been choked out and it was lying down on his chin. This eye was out and it was lying about midway the cheek. I looked at this eye and it was gone. I looked at the bridge of his nose and it looked like someone had taken a meat chopper and chopped it. I looked at his teeth, and I only saw 2 that just been knocked out. I was looking at his ears, and that's when I discovered a hole about here, and I could see daylight on the other side. I said, now, was it necessary to shoot him? If that's a bullet hole, was that necessary? And I also discovered that they had taken an axe and they had gone straight down across it.
As you
All right, so that's going to wrap it up for today, beloveds. We're going to go ahead and get ready for the next live. Let me just play this for you all. Hold on. I'm sorry. I know I said that was the last one, but I want to show you all this real quick.
We cannot be black and proud and niggers too. White folks are planning for 3 generations, and we're planning for Saturday night. The goal for us is to win, not to look like we're winning. I would rather carry a plastic bag with $5,000 in it than to carry a $5,000 Louis Vuitton bag with $100 in it. You just looking like you winning. You ain't winning. Louis Vuitton is winning, Nike's winning, Armani is winning, Gucci's winning. It is interesting to me that the rich stay rich by pretending to be poor, and the poor stay poor by pretending to be rich. And if we do not fix this level of financial illiteracy, Lots of reasons why we are at the bottom of every single economic statistic that matters.
Okay, so you all heard what that man said. Now, I thought he was white at first. And when he said we can't be black and proud and be ninjas too, I said, wait a minute, hold up. Okay. But he's absolutely right. He's absolutely right. All right. Some of y'all want to be black and proud, but walk around with your pants sagging. As Judge Greg Mathis pointed out ever so ferociously to the young man in the studio with Wendy. All right. Stacey said they make it difficult for us to get ahead. Yeah, they do, but we also, beloved, make it difficult for ourselves. We make it difficult for ourselves. You see, here's the thing. We continue to give them our money so they can build generational wealth for themselves, and we build nothing for ourselves. We continue to participate in these nefarious holidays. How many of you are braced for Valentine's Day? How many of you? You can't wait for your man to take you out to dinner, give you something nice, a box of chocolates and roses. Some of you men can't wait to go and buy it. How much money do you in fact think they're going to make off of our community for Valentine's Day? There is almost a holiday every month. Do you think that's a coincidence? Do you think that's a coincidence? It's absolutely all by design. But yet, many of our people continue and will always continue to participate. Going broke at Christmas, buying things you can't afford to please your children, but specifically, in some cases, lying and telling them that some big white man climbed down the chimney and brought it. Not even giving yourself the credit. Make it all make sense. These pagan holidays and the celebration of them by our people has to stop. Giving them trillions of dollars a year has to stop. We are our own worst enemy in some cases. We can't blame them for all of it. We have to at some point accept accountability and blame ourselves and know that in some ways, many ways, we are in fact our own problem. That's just what it is. That's just what it is, beloveds. Now, with that all being said, I'm going to conclude this broadcast so we can get over to the next live. For those of you who are going over to the backup channel, the QueenAShakur TV show. All right, please meet me in the next chat. And here's the thing. We're going to have the trivia, like I said, for those of you who came in late. We're going to have the trivia, and we're going to, hey, Edward, right, 643 just said, going broke while rent is due. Exactly. I know people who've done just that. Okay, Jeff ATL said, I don't celebrate these devil's holidays. Exactly. Okay, real conscious black people don't celebrate these holidays. Exactly, they don't. They just don't. Now, with that all being said, we're going to have trivia this week for those of you who missed it and came in late, and it's going to be pertaining to the things that I show about Black History Month. The first thing that I showed for Black History Month was the video, the interview with Mr. Raymond Fontroy. If you didn't watch that interview, well, chances are you won't get any of the answers correct when I ask questions specifically about that interview. The next thing is, it's going to be the questions may come from videos on this channel, or they won't just come from videos on this channel specifically. There'll be a mixture from the other channel as well as this channel. So if you're not watching the other channel, you may not know some of the answers to the questions that I'll ask from videos shown on that channel, just to let you know. Okay, so with that all being said, Greta said, Queen, love your commentary. Thank you, beloved. Okay, so with that all being said, everyone enjoy the rest of this lovely day. Each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember, beloveds, to keep the Most High first in your lives. Peace.
Hit 'em with that flavor. Gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunta. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. See a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all at Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh. While these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threats. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans, and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show